say his name in hushed voices, not because they fear him, but because to speak of him is to speak of death itself. For centuries, in villages and kingdoms, soldiers tell the same tale, a man who defied the blade, the flame, the grave itself, a man who could not be killed. But legends grow like weeds, they twist, they tangle, they change with time. So let me take you back to where it all began. Calin was not born under a star of fortune. He was born in mud on a night when fire swallowed the horizon. His village was attacked the very night he came screaming into the world. His father was a farmer, slain before Calin took his first breath. His mother wrapped him in cloth and ran, her feet blistering, her body bleeding. But somehow Calin survived. From the beginning, death reached for him. And from the beginning, death failed. By the time he was a boy, Calin had known more hunger than bread, more sorrow than laughter. Yet he grew tall, broad, and strong, a body that seemed carved for battle. He was not noble. He was not chosen. He was simply unyielding. Calin became a soldier young, as many orphans did. War gave him food, gave him shelter, and gave him purpose. On his first battlefield, he rushed forward with nothing but a rusted spear. He fought wildly, desperately, until a blade pierced his chest clean through. The men around him saw him fall. They moved on. They believed him dead. But Calin did not die. Hours later, as carrion birds circled above, he rose. His wound still open, blood soaking the earth, he stood again. Soldiers who had fled turned back and saw him, walking his shadow long in the setting sun. From that day, a whisper began. The boy cannot die. As the years passed, the tests became more brutal. Enemies tried everything. He was tied to a stake and burned. Yet he walked out of the fire with charred flesh that healed before their eyes. He was buried alive beneath rocks and dirt, but days later, clawed his way back to the surface, gasping for breath. He was drowned in a river until his lungs filled with water, but the next morning, he stumbled back into camp, coughing, alive. Each time, his comrades stared in awe. His enemies fled in terror. But Calin himself felt something different, a hollow ache. Priests declared him blessed by the gods. They built shrines in his honor. Kings sent messengers, begging him to fight in their armies, promising him gold and land. But one night, as Calin sat alone, a woman came to him. She was old, blind in both eyes, wrapped in rags. "You are not blessed," she whispered. "You are cursed." Calin demanded answers. The woman told him a secret older than the kingdoms themselves. Long ago, his mother, desperate to keep him alive, had made a bargain. On the night of his birth, as soldiers slaughtered their village, she had called upon the ancient spirits of earth and shadow. She had begged, "Spare my son. Let death never touch him." And the spirits listened. But they never give without taking. "Child," the old woman said, her voice trembling, "you will never die. And because of this, you will never truly live." Years became decades. Calin fought in wars across kingdoms. Enemies trembled at his name. They sent entire armies just to stop him, and still he returned, covered in scars that healed, eyes colder each year. But though his body endured, his spirit began to rot. He watched friends grow old, while his face remained unlined. He buried comrades, kings, and even enemies, while he kept walking. Every time he raised his sword, he felt the weight of eternity pressing heavier. And when he looked into the mirror of a still lake, Calin no longer saw a man, he saw a shadow, walking in flesh. The greatest war of his age came at last. Kingdom against kingdom. Entire cities burned. Calin led the charge. He fought for days, arrows piercing his body, swords breaking against his bones. They set traps, they buried spears in his chest, and still he fought. The ground was slick with blood and thousands of others. By the end, Calin stood alone. An entire army lay dead around him. His breath came heavy. His sword dripped with blood. But still he lived. And then he vanished. Some say the gods finally grew weary of him and carried him into the heavens. Others believe he still walks the earth, wandering from battlefield to battlefield, searching for the death that forever escapes him. When soldiers gather by firelight, when their hands tremble before war, someone always tells it. Remember Calin, the warrior who could not be killed. And the men shiver, because if such a man lived once, perhaps he still lives now.